これか。せーの。おー。My cabbages! Low, low, man. Ah, my cabbages!
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Andrew Esquire, the legal mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge, make up your own mind. And today we've got kind of a little bit of a special edition. It's a late night here in Asia, almost midnight, 11:30 p.m. in Bangkok, but it is exactly the right time to bring you some shenanigans of the Nuisance streamer squad, including a planned meetup, it seems like, in Busan, or at least what may end up being a meetup in Busan with Johnny Somali, which is exactly the type of thing that I warned about. And I threw out there that people need to watch out for, and also something that can lead to potential other new criminal charges for Johnny and other activities that could be thrown against him. Lots of stuff that could go up with that. But it seems like he has finally emerged from his chrysalis, where he was kind of not making many appearances, not out there showing his face, but in fact, here he goes, where he knowingly jumps on with the streamer while he's streaming, and gets involved and invites him to a meetup and tries to schedule a meetup in Korea. Now, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into the video today. We've also got a lot of video of these streamers in Japan. Now, I have covered them previously. Now, we're going to go into some different activities, what's criminal, what's not necessarily, and some of it is inane and innocuous. Some of it is technically criminal, but really not that big of a deal in the scope of crimes in Japan. And some of it is very potentially problematic. So we'll get into that as we go through the videos today. But as we do, and before we do, please make sure to smash the like button to get the word out there, to share this. It's a little bit late. So it's a little bit late. So it's always good to get information out there. Speaking of information, if you haven't joined my locals community, they're kind of hilarious, and they do make good memes occasionally. And somebody who made this, Veggie Han. Okay, I'm gonna drop this. This is actually a hilarious meme. This is kind of a very meta meme. This is very meta. But I'm gonna play this one. Somebody made this in my locals, and I appreciate you. Legal mindset number 50, Ricada law number 1. Very meta, very meta. Thank you for making that my locals community. That's actually funny. I may even post it on Twitter. That's actually pretty funny. Appreciate you out there, all of you, as you come in. Also the members, thank you so much. And Doug Diaz starting it off big with the 5 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much, Doug, for these 5 and every 5 you've given. Thank you. Yes. So let's get into it. Johnny has been very, very quiet lately, because he really understood, at least for a time, that if he ends up speaking up, this can make his situation worse. It not only fuels the charges against him, it gives us more evidence, it allows stuff to be presented to the judge, but it can make his situation much, much worse, because it shows he's not truly sorry and repenting and spending this time in, quiet solitude thinking about what he did wrong. Instead, if he decides to come out and start streaming or start, interacting with these people, or seeming like he's not sorry at all, that's a big thing. I think that's it goes towards his state of mind and what he's thinking, and that he's not really spending this time in reflection. He's wishing he could be out there with his streamer bros, causing havoc across of Asia. So we'll start with Are we the prosecution? Give us more evidence. Yeah. So when I say give us more evidence, I mean give evidence to the Korean prosecution. So people say, are we the prosecution? Well, if information ends up in my hands, it's highly likely to end up in the eyes or on the table of the judge of the prosecution over in Korea. So let's say, I'm using this in a collective sense. I'm using the collective we, the collective us, right? Nira, thank you so much for the 10 legal mindset gifts. Very based. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you for that. Appreciate the support of the channel. Also, Sitsatar Luchai, Kopkun Kop, thank you so much for the 5 legal mindset memberships. Appreciate that very, very much. All of your gifts, you and Doug give a good amount, so thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. Coyote Trickster, a member for 11 months, says, I was beginning to think Mr. Ismail had finally grew a rudimentary brain, but no, lolcow's got a lolcow. That's the truth about the lolcow, is they cannot do what's best for them. They can't shut up. They instead need to stick their foot in it when they indeed should not talk at all and just kind of quietly sit in a corner for a while. They just can't help themselves. They really just can't. Bullets in my beard says, Johnny is such a babbo. Indeed. He is Johnny is missing a couple brain cells at the very least. And somebody mentioned in the chat, he only knows Nuisance streaming, so he can't really go on and do anything else successfully. And at this point, he's actually gotten to the point where no job is going to hire him, much like his friend and possible lover, Hank, or Han Jong-yu. There's no possibility of any legitimate company hiring this person, because as soon as they would hire Ramzi Khalid Ismail, they would just Google his legal name, when they're doing a background check on him, and all this stuff would come up, and he will never be hired. He can never work anywhere else in his life because of what he has done internationally. It completely darkens his name. It completely blacks him out as a potential hire, right? Same with most of these folks. They don't realize that doing these Nuisance streamer activities and some of the stuff we're going to talk about today, such as marriage propositions to underage girls, which is one of the friends of Johnny Somali here. These things stay with you, and they stay with your record. And when people are talking about stuff in the future, they're going to remember this. They're not just going to forget these things. They're not just going to look past your criminal past, right? They're going to be brought up infinitely in the future. So you're kind of stuck. You're kind of screwed. Yeah. Somebody, Elpire Ava is like, whoa, what? Yes. We'll get to that. Don't you worry, right? We'll get to that. Dave gifted 10 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Yes. Oh my gosh, Legal Mindset Kun, I hope you're well. I have a little bit of a headache today, but I wanted to get this out there because this needed to be talked about kind of forthwith. I'm trying to rest up, take it easy, nothing crazy here. I'm not going out and partying or anything else. I'm just taking it easy over here in Thailand. But thank you for that. Thank you for the consideration. Asian Dragon 456 says, yeah, he and the others still don't have forgiveness, that they think streaming is a game. Ridiculous. Yeah, they think that they're the main character. They have that main character syndrome, and everybody else is the NPC, and that they can do whatever they want and kind of get away with it. The main character syndrome. That's not how it works. And people notice these things and notice you acting out and being extreme. And now what we're seeing is generally in Asia, and we're going to see this in Japan. I'm going to show you evidence in Japan that people are not putting up with it, and businesses are not putting up with it. They're getting done with streamers. They're just kicking them out at this point. Even places that in the past would have just allowed streamers to be annoying and be loud and whatever else, they're looking out there and specifically looking at streamers and getting rid of them. And this is actually pretty crazy, especially for a place like Japan, which just means they're done with it. They're over it as a permissive thing. They're looking at streamers and saying, we're done, which is why, and I pointed this out before, a lot of the other streamers are freaking out because they see people who are getting kicked out and, being removed from places. And they think, oh God, none of us are going to be able to stream. Now, I do think if you're a respectful streamer, if you're somebody who asks for permission, if you're somebody who isn't annoying, if you're somebody who doesn't cause a disturbance, I think it's fine. But the problem is that there's a certain group of people that do not know how to fucking control themselves. They just cannot control themselves. They can't keep it in. They have to act like animals, essentially. Sigrun became a new member, even though you've been a member before. But appreciate that, Sigrun. Did you? Yeah, you're at the BLM level, so welcome at the BLM level, the highest level. Also, Magma Fox, who's also BLM, says, "Hello, legal mindset stream. Great thing to wake up to." Well, good morning. Good morning over there. Baked Buddhist for 5 says, "Impulsive people doing impulsive things like harassing comfort women statues and running their mouth. Say it ain't so." I know. Well, let's start with this one. Let's start with good old ABZ. Also, greetings to all those checking in. I see greetings from Germany. So, Guten Tag, or Guten Morgen. Depends on, I have to look at the clock. I don't know what time it is right now. And good to see everybody's checking in from all around the world. We have US, Europe, we've got Asia. So, appreciate everybody here. Let's see here. We'll start with this one. So this is ABZ. Now, ABZ is a streamer. He's been kind of getting a little bit of attention recently because he's been running around Japan, kind of making a mess. But this is a good example of streamers when they get loud and obnoxious, they're in a McDonald's. Now, I've been in many McDonald's, especially McDonald's in like Shinjuku and Shibuya, many a time. And generally, people in McDonald's are loud. They're talking loudly, often late night. They're drunk, they're yelling. So McDonald's, of all places, usually has a pretty high tolerance for people being loud and being kind of annoying. But it, to me, is very telling. Watch this here, that when they see these streaming rigs, which are obvious, you see them set up there at the end of the table. You see the streaming rig there. Obviously, he has a streaming rig in his hand. When they see these, they're just done with it, right? They're just done with it. And let's play the video here rather than me editorializing it. Let me just play the video for you.
Chat. Are you hungry? You want more? You gotta look surprised. More. What? Keep going. Keep going.
Bro, I'm fucking. You gonna start punching you in the back?
Yes, please.
He's just like, dude, this guy's a fucking kid fetish for people.
I didn't know what it is called. Mando, goddamn, bro. Mando.
What?
Mando, you're American. You gotta do a bit harder, cuz.
Pardon?
You're American, guys.
You can tell me more and more, dude.
One second. Why? I'm doing that.
You gotta leave, bro.
1 second, bro.
Why?
You guys kicking him out, right?
This guy, bro.
Nani. Out? Why?
Sorry.
What the fuck? Why though? What happened? What the fuck?
It's called being a tourist, dude.
So I am pretty sure here, not to get the mouth angle, but I am pretty sure a lot of the reason why they get kicked out of these places is because of the streaming, right? Is because of the streaming, right? This is why, because you're annoying, right? But the point of the matter is I think the streaming has a lot to do with it. I think the streaming element, if they were just loud tourists, I don't think they would be as quick to remove them. Now, did they do anything illegal there? No, let me be very clear. And we're going to see Vinny videos. That's one of the videos where they did nothing illegal. They were just annoying, right? But the point of the matter is, this is what I call the Johnny Somali effect. When you have somebody who's done things that are illegal, that trickles down to other streamers and impacts them even when they're doing legal things. So while I'm not picking on ABZ here, I'm just using this as an example of the businesses being done with seeing this. It's 100% streaming that caused them to be kicked out there, not just them being loud. I think it's one plus the other, right? And maybe for streaming, of course, you're hamming it up a little bit, possible, right? But nothing illegal, nothing necessarily illegal there, just being rude, right? Perhaps. Let's see here. Danny Skier said, did you watch the Overload film? How was it? Not yet. I've not had time yet, but I will. Asian Dragon 456 says, even for me who wanted to record food or a landmark, Japan DA me. In Korea, aniyo. Yeah. Dame. Yeah. Just yeah. They're not gonna put up with it if you're annoying. I think regular recording is always going to be okay, but something where you're creating a scene and you're recording, I think they're going to look at that and say, yeah, no, we're not going to allow that. We're going to get these people moving out of our business because we don't want our business to have that bad rep. Thank you, Wagner Merck, for 99 cents with the super sticker. Appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. And then JP Ravenfire dropping 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Yes. So, oh yeah, and then we got 2 more here. Asian Dragon says, in the USA, prescription medicine is easy to consume. In Asia, highly no on drugs, even though prescription. By law, death or jail for life. We're going to get into the Ice Poseidon Adderall controversy in a second, and I'm going to explain how that works. I actually have a lengthy explanation from one of my friends, and I'll talk about that a little bit later because we have that video as well. But first, we're going to get into the Somali and slightly homeless stuff and all that good stuff. Kid Loco said, finally got to watch Andrew's stream again. Hi. Hey, Kid Loco. Good to see you. And Zoro J. Zephyr, very boy, says, I keep missing the streams. No, you're here. How are you missing it? You're here. Okay. So to give you some background here, because we need a little background. Johnny is currently stuck in Korea. He's also banned off Kick. But what Johnny wants more than anything else is, other than perhaps to escape Korea, which he hopes he doesn't have to end up on the cabbage farm. But the other thing he really wants is to be on Kick. But he is permanently banned from that platform. He's perma-banned from that platform. And because of that, it's, he can't be on that platform. He wishes he could, right? But meanwhile, all of his friends, all of his homies, all of his bros, they're all on Kick and they're having a grand old time in Japan. So whereas he could be there with them, he could be hanging out with them, he could be making quote unquote content with them. If he wasn't such an unsufferable tool, he could be doing that. He has to watch from his cold bedroom, nestled next to Hanky Poo, right? Perhaps wearing a skirt. Who knows? He's got to watch from that cold bedroom as everybody else has fun and makes money in Japan. It's very, very frustrating for him, right? And just to show you a little bit of the group here, this is not all of them, but there's a larger group here. Generally, the group is Ice Poseidon, I believe Nana, this Japanese streamer, slightly homeless, Durant. There's some others like Hyub Sama, and I think Suspendus is there. So generally they're there. Now they've been relatively staying on the positive side, but there have been a couple incidents. I'm going to play some video here where they've gotten into some tussles, they've gotten into some fights. Let me just play this one.
Because I speak Japanese, I know what she's thinking.
No,
I understand.
Talk to Japan and why? This is romantic couple. Why
You
can't
don't understand.
I understand.
You don't understand.
I understand.
You don't.
You want my punching?
Why are you gonna punch me?
Because you come to Japan. So many views. What? Shut the fuck up, you.
It doesn't matter.
Why
Punch me,
doesn't
motherfucker.
matter?
Do it. Punch me.
What?
Punch me.
Punch you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, try it.
So now he's daring him, he's provoking him to punch him, right? So well, guess what happens?
Don't
Try
touch.
it, bro.
Don't touch it.
Try it, bro.
Don't
The
touch.
volume's
Try
bad.
it, bro.
You can touch it.
Try it, yare.
No, you can
No,
touch.
yare.
No.
Yare, yo.
So then you got these guys brawling.
Yeah, try it, bro. Wait. I'm waiting. Free content. Free. Get banned, bro. You're already banned, bro.
So these guys just like limp-wristed tussling. You got the Gunt out here. Like these guys, I mean, this is like possibly the most questionable content. I mean, I'm wondering if these guys are ready to snuggle with Hank and Johnny, because this is just it's very weird. This is the biggest, like, yeah, who said it? Sissy fight. This is the biggest sissy fight I've seen ever. And this is the type of shenanigans. I want to give you guys a taste for the shenanigans that these guys are getting into, right? Look at this. Actually, let me fast forward. It gets even worse. Look at the gunt here. Check out the gunt on this. This is just hilarious.
Right.
No.
Right.
Look at that glorious gunt.
I'm warning you, bro. You're gonna get banned. Shut the fuck up. You're gonna get banned.
Oh God. I mean, to be honest, I mean, maybe it is all kayfabe, but the point of the matter is that's the type of stuff they're rolling around doing for quote unquote content in Japan, right? That's what Johnny's missing out on, and he wishes he could be there to rub that belly in that mating dance that's going down between these two guys. Now, it hasn't all been sissy fights and pillows and, you know, all that sort of stuff. There's been other stuff that's been a little bit more concerning, particularly regarding the female streamer that's there, because it's a bunch of dudes and one female Japanese streamer who's obviously joining, because I believe she's one of the first or one of the few female Japanese kick streamers. So because of that, they you know, she's joining this larger group because the rest of them are obviously kick streamers, right? But we'll get into some of the stuff involving her in a second, because it's kind of interesting and concerning. Patrick, water member for 5 months, and at least to Johnny, says watermelon. Well, thank you. Artemis says World Star Nuisance Streamer Edition. That's funny. Well, that's accurate at this point. Asian Dragon says, what was the difference from Johnny Somali's permanent ban to Jack Doherty's ban for a short time to unban and now ban again? I think the difference is Jack Doherty was, number one, bigger, and also he could BS that, oh, I didn't intend to do it. Whereas if you see people repeat behaviors, then you could say, okay, well, that's something they're trying to do, right? So if they're trying to create drama or, you know, create kayfabe, but in a way that's criminal or dangerous, then you might have to remove them from the platform, right? So in the case of Johnny, where he is trying to commit criminal activities intentionally and get away with them for clout and for internet attention, as a platform, as you know, Kick has to worry eventually about liability at a certain point for hosting that material, for saying, hey, we're, you know, not only actively hosting, we're promoting and monetizing someone who is out there committing crimes and trying to get away with them for money on the internet, right? They would have some liability there eventually. Let's see. And then JP said almost a year in BLM. Time flies. I know, time flies when you're kicking ass. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, so let's start with stuff going into Slightly Homeless and what's going on with this other streamer. So, and in case you guys don't know who Slightly Homeless is, let me give a little background here. Slightly Homeless and was with Suspendus, who is one of Johnny Somali's bros and or mentors, right? Actually, this guy mentored him kind of into the game and how to use kind of negative PR for clout. Well, these guys at one point, and I'll pull them up right here. This was back in 2023. This is Suspendus here on the left and Slightly Homeless on the right. I'll pull up their photo. And this guy, he's dyed his hair purple blue in Japan, and he's currently in Japan. I believe Suspendus is there as well. Now, they were arrested in Nepal after offering marriage to a 15-year-old girl. Let me repeat that for you guys. They were arrested in Nepal last year, or rather 2023, so almost maybe 2 years ago, just about 2 years ago. They were in Nepal offering marriage to a 15-year-old girl. So I'll leave it out there and up to you guys whether or not that is a one-off thing or whether that was a pattern of behavior. But they faced up to 10 years. I believe ultimately Slightly Homeless was deported and Suspendus spent, apparently according to this, 60 days in prison. maybe. So I don't know whether they actually got time served or actually served that time or was just sent out, but they actually got arrested for it. So that is a thing, right? So that's your background of this guy going into this situation. So this is a guy that you're deciding to bring with you on your trip and to stream with you, as you're out there, as you're hanging out. So let's go over here and show some of the tips talking about this guy. Once again, his streamer name is Slightly Homeless, and we'll play this one more time, and I'll show this for you guys.
Discord for clip of Homeless saying he's going to fuck Nana tonight and come in her pussy 10 times. What a fucking weirdo, bro. You gotta kick him.
So check Discord for a clip of this guy saying he's going to fuck the Japanese streamer and come in her pussy 10 times. So, and sorry for the vulgarity here. This is the actual language they use. And then they forward to him reading this. So I'm gonna play this here.
I'm gonna fuck Nana in her pussy and make her come 10 times.
So once again, this is the same dude who got in trouble for proposing marriage to a 15-year-old girl. So is it a one-off or is it a pattern of behavior? You tell me.
I'm gonna make Nana come 10 times.
Wait a second.
Okay. So I'm not going to watch them like go back and do their kind of spastic replaying of that. It's already bad enough. But you can see this is pretty bad. And of course, this leads to a situation, right, where they're kind of grappling this guy. And you'll see him here. He's here. The female streamer is here, right? And that's the female streamer who he's threatened to kind of grape and, do all those things to. Let's play this video here.
Hey, don't touch. Just don't touch. Don't touch. Hey, don't touch in this way. Don't touch. Go and tell homeless that man don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. Let's end this fucking shit, man. Sky. Just keep this.
So these guys, once again, you get in a situation like that. That's the one where I say, especially with somebody who doesn't know you and, may not be your friend and, you're looking like you're doing stuff non-consensually, especially in Asia. There can be enough for assault. There can be enough for battery. There can be enough for sexual harassment, and this is all on film, right? So after making those threats and comments, you go and you touch somebody, right? That is definitely something that can push you towards the jail cell, right? If they decided to press charges against you, right? If they decided to do that, right? So this is the guy who, and this is a lead up here. This is the guy who ultimately ends up during one of these, meetings of the streamers in Japan calling Johnny Somali. But I just wanted to give you a background as to his character, right? So you've seen the type of person he is. You've seen the type of activities he engages in, the type of streaming he does, what he is, his pattern of behavior. And then we're going to come over and look at how he calls in Johnny, right? But before we do that, let's get to these super chats. Marcos says, time to fire up the wood chipper. Triple J26 is straight to the prison of Azkaban, these dudes. Also, wow, almost a year being a member. Welcome. Cool. Look forward to next month when it's 12. Danny Skier for Tybot 100 says, Atozi said in one of his previous videos that he will fly to South Korea for the trial. Maybe you two could sit and watch together and have a drink. Yeah, no problem. If he wants to show up in March, he can show up. He knows the trial's on March 7th. He can show up if he wants. He's more than happy to go to the trial. If he wants to reach out to me, I'll give him the exact location and he can show up. I would recommend, if he's going to do it, that he plan his trip 2 weeks before, because any sooner than that, we may have some changes to the docket. So wait a little bit and then plan it. But yeah, Tozy should come. It'd be awesome. Asian Dragon 456 is, so it has to do with liability protection. Partly, but I think it's it's more than that. I mean, it's a bad brand image in addition to liability. In addition to the platform having potential liability, it's brand damage. Advertisers are going to pull out. So when an advertiser sees that you're working with Johnny Somali, they're going to say, hell fucking no. And they're going to pull their advertising and you're going to lose a ton of money. It's like what happened with Twitch when they got hit with anti-Semitism, which was pretty clear and pretty obvious and open. They lost a ton of revenue. They lost a ton of advertisers. Wagner Merck for €2 says, if Johnny comes to Russia, oh, he ain't coming to Russia. He's too much of a pussy for that. The average Russian woman could beat up Johnny Somali. Elf Pyre Ava for 2 says, an arm can dislocate quite easily, creep. Yes. And breaking any one of their arms in that situation, whether it's Johnny or this homeless kid, might not be uncalled for. Thanks to everyone that gifted me at this time. Thanks, Toasty. And Kid Loco for a 10-month. Appreciate that. All right, let's get into the Johnny Somali bit. So this is the one where Johnny Somali gets called in. Now, this guy, once again, this is slightly homeless here in the photo, so you know who it is. Obviously, very dicey himself, is deciding to call Johnny Somali and then show his stream that he's calling Johnny Somali. Right? So he's got his number. Sorry, drunk and need girl advice. So he's calling Johnny Somali for girl advice. Can you imagine taking Johnny Somali? The only girls that Johnny Somali has any interaction with, according to his own character, is the lady boy in Bali and Hank, who he is possibly having relations with. That's the only quote unquote girls that Johnny knows about. Also, is Dalgoon in the chat? What's up, Dalgoon? Good to see you, bro. Odiga, brother, Odiga. Good to see you. I'll see you when I'm back in Seoul. But let's continue here.
You hear me?
Nah, I've been watching a little bit of the trip. Yeah, I know, Nana. What's up?
Yes, the camera's on.
Hi.
Hi, Nana. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Does she know Johnny Somali? Does she know me? From terrorizing her country?
So he's already bragging. He brags in the first second. Does he know me from terrorizing her country? He's banned from Japan. He can't come back to Japan. So understand that he can't even go to this country. And actually, especially if he gets a criminal conviction in Korea, that may also work against him in coming to Japan for even a longer period of time. It's possible, right? Because he's got to disclose other criminal convictions. So his criminal past is catching up. Also, what's up, Fab? Appreciate you, bro. See you in the chat. What's up? And what's up, Dalgun? Sigrid says everyone knows Russian people aren't considered adults until they wrestle a bear and win. Russian wrestling is number one. Yeah, can you imagine just the average Russian against Johnny? It's not even a contest, bro. Zerodist07 as a new member, welcome. And Coyote Trickster said the average Russian child could beat Mr. Ismail to a pulp. Agreed. I'm here for the scuff. Says I think that since they have no honor, seppuku and be done with. All right, let's continue the video. Thank you guys for the super chats.
Yumeji.
YouTuber.
Yes.
So she doesn't know who the fuck he is. So she's like, who the fuck is he? And of course he's wearing a MAGA hat pretending he's whatever, or that he even voted, which he didn't.
Yes, get over here. Come here.
Nakadashi.
So he's saying Nakadashi, which means, in case you guys know what Nakadashi means, he's trying to say that to the girl, which means, how can I say this? Pie made of cream. Okay? Pie made of cream. I'll allow you guys to fill in that one. So he's saying these disgusting things to the girl, right? And once again, this is a girl who's already been threatened to be essentially sexually assaulted. Like the guy has said he's going to essay her, right? And he's having his bro, Johnny, call up and also talk about giving her a pie made of cream. It's yeah. Asian Dragon says, Kick, better listen to Andrew because letting these SPs talk like that will get a lawsuit on sexual harassment. These male streamers should have punishment in old China history style. Yeah, that would be bad. But it's true. They really are a huge liability. And if they just let them run around like that, that's going to be their brand image. I mean, a lot of the stuff is fine. And I'll talk about stuff that's fine. I mean, like I said, with ABZ didn't do anything illegal in that clip. All I said was, the businesses are getting annoyed and kicking them out, probably because of the Johnny Somali effect, right? And we're going to talk about something that ICE did and how it's technically illegal, but not that much of a big deal. We'll talk about that in a second. But so Suspendus, the other guy who was in Nepal, comes up here and he sees Johnny. So look at his reaction.
Nakadashi.
Oh, what the fuck?
So now the other streamers, like Ice Poseidon, overhears this. So now he hears that they're, he's overhearing, they're like yelling. He doesn't probably know who they're on the stream with. So we'll see what their reaction is when they show up.
Fucking Johnny Somali. Are you still alive?
Bro, hang up on this fucking.
Bro, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?
So they're trying to end the call. So someone is grabbing his phone and trying to end the call because they know that having Johnny as they're streaming on Kick is kind of like ban evasion, right? And they know that they have been working really hard to say they have nothing to do with Johnny. And then they have somebody who's in their group who they invited calling Johnny, right? When they've worked really, really, really hard to try to say, oh, we have nothing to do with Johnny. We're not like Johnny. But Johnny is literally in the frame with them.
Oh, this fucking guy, bro.
What do you mean? I want advice. I want advice.
Yeah, what are you doing? Say something Somali. Somali.
See what he said there? Okay, hold on. So they're all saying there's two things going on here. So let me play back. Everybody is saying, so ICE is trying to say, hey, I don't want a target on my back. This guy fucked things up for Kick, right? Like, get him, like, turn it off, right? Johnny said, you guys are coming to Busan. So he makes it sound like more than one of them are coming to Busan. Busan is a city in South Korea. It's the southern port city. It's the second largest city, right? So he makes it sound, he says, you guys. Now, I was talking with Fab earlier, and he was saying that apparently, I guess, only Slightly Homeless has made a plan to go. But he said you guys, which does imply there's more than one person. So I don't know. I mean, maybe only Slightly Homeless has plans for now. Maybe the other ones are keeping it secret. Who knows? But, it's, it's still a meetup in Korea. And mind you, this is a Korea that's already thinking about reforming its laws due to nuisance streamers. So Korea, already being on edge and sensitive to this, is now on warning that Johnny Somali is trying to link and meet up in Busan with other streamers that can be classified as nuisance streamers in certain their activities. I would say, trying to marry a 15-year-old Nepalese girl probably classifies as nuisance streaming. And they're going to bring that to Busan. I think that's a recipe for disaster. I think that's a huge recipe for disaster. Now, I don't know what their timeline is. I don't know when they would go there, but Johnny does clearly make that statement here in this, which means he knows their plans. Let's play this one more time. I wanted you guys to hear this.
I want advice. I want advice.
Yeah, what are you doing? Say something Somali. Somali.
See, when you guys come to Busan, I'll be in Busan.
I'll talk to you later.
He
wants.
And what is he asking? Get him unbanned from Kick.
I'm banned from Kick.
That's not gonna happen, bro.
Peace out, bro. I'll see you later.
He made Kick look like shit in Asia.
But we will save it. We will save it.
No, bro. What the fuck are you doing?
He made Kick
See, nobody is happy with that.
look like shit in Asia. Fuck.
See, so they had to try to say that at the end. Hey, he made Kick look like shit in Asia. What the fuck are you doing? So the other streamers get mad at him because they know that alone, just putting Johnny on and offering to meet him up in Busan is going to hit news. It's gonna get out there. It's gonna circulate. Trust me. After this stream, other people are gonna pick it up. And this is what happens. And, once again, Nuisance streaming tends to have these collectives, tends to have people doing the same thing. They really like to do these meetups to create content. So this is something that's kind of inevitable where Johnny is going to try to make this happen. If this does happen in Busan, what are they going to try to do in Busan? Are they going to go to comfort woman statues together? Are they going to commit other crimes? Are they going to do whatever the fuck they're going to do? Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do in Busan, right? But obviously, people are on it now. People are going to be paying attention to it. Certainly, I will pay attention to it, and certainly isn't so far as slightly homeless or whoever else tries to come to Busan and create issues. Well, your boy's going to be on that one as well, right? We're definitely going to be on that as well. Mind you, this may be, I don't know what their timeline is, because I know they're supposed to be there for about 100 days. They may be there around the time of Johnny's trial, and who knows? Who knows if even they try to come up and attend Johnny's trial. That would be kind of hilarious if they tried to go into court with Johnny. Very funny. Coyote Trickster for 10. So the kids are a result of effing around and no one introduced them to the find out part. That's exactly right. Chris and Chip says, unrelated, I'm good for a gym pump. Oh, okay. Muzzy Skeleton says, my babushka would wreck Johnny. Yeah, most grandmas could whip his ass. Wagner Merck for 5 years says, if Johnny comes to Russia, we'll give him the Wagner hammer. Thank you. Signor Eternia for 2 said Nakadashi involves a lot of filling in. Oh, God, I gotta play the clip.
Disgusting.
God damn it. Danny Skier says, God, they have the audacity to get mad at slightly homeless for talking to Johnny Somali. Yet they're already like him. Oh, the hypocrisy of the finance. Jesus. Yeah. Exactly. Silver says Naka means inside and dashi is sauce or broth. Thanks for that etymology of the word, sobering. Thank you. McSkittles became a new member. Welcome as a new member of the RPG. Welcome. Death the Goat for 100 Swedish krona says, after 30 years war in Germany, if someone was drunk, loud, and unruly, they said he acted like a Swede. Now the worldwide expression for someone who being an idiot will be, he acted like a streamer. That's so accurate. Thank you for that. And a little bit of Swedish lore. Ditzy said, disgusting. Nemi Nightmare. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Okay. So that is him showing up. I will keep on this when we get the date of this meetup, or if that comes out, I will let you guys know. But obviously, that's something to watch out for. And certainly for Korean lawmakers to consider when they're thinking about laws, when they're thinking about regulations, to pass. Hey, maybe you want to make sure everything you want to pass in the legislation is done before then. I know there's a little bit of political upheaval there, but having a bunch of streamers in your country causing havoc while you're also going through some political turmoil is not going to be good for the image of your country, which already is hurting based on the political instability, right? So I think that's just a fair point. A fair point there. Orsa Flats for 20 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Orsa Flats. Asian Dragon 456 says, if they try to stream the Johnny Tramiel trial in person and Andrew is at the crime scene, emotional damage. Emotional
damage.
First of all, you can't stream in the courtroom, so they can only stream outside. Maybe. Even then, there's probably limits even within the building. But it would be pretty funny. It'd be pretty hilarious, right? All these people who talk tough, and then it's in person, and they ain't got it. Sigrun Eternia says, "Hey, you told us to fill it in. Those were your words. Don't blame me for flipping the trap card face up. You walked into it. I didn't walk into anything." Patrick B also gifted 10 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much.
Yes.
64 new memberships today. Thank you. Welcome to all 64 of you. If you received a gift membership, please say thank you to the people that gratefully gifted those, that were kind to gift those. So in case you guys didn't see the thumbnail, the city behind here is Busan. So this thumbnail, right? This is Busan in the background. So, and this is slightly homeless and his really bad haircut. This is, of course, where they'll be doing the meetup in Busan at some point in the future. So we'll keep an eye on Johnny. We'll keep an eye on this weirdo, and we'll get back to you on that as we hear what's going on. Now, let's talk about Ice Poseidon. Now, there was an alleged crime by Ice Poseidon that a lot of people were trying to bring to my attention. And I wanted to point this out because this is one where, once again, I'm very fair in my analysis. Anybody who listens to my analysis, who actually listens and listens to the words that are coming out of my mouth from beginning to end and pays attention, knows I'm very fair. I never say that anybody is committing a crime unless it appears they're doing so or it's very clear they're doing so. And even if they are, I'm very honest with what the outcome would be. Some crimes are rarely ever punished. And there's one here that ICE clearly committed, but it's a common crime that is almost never punished, right? And we'll talk about that here on in a second. But first, I'll let you hear what happened. So what did ICE do? Here he is, kind of stooped over, and he's going to swivel around in a second.
No, I don't have my Adderall, seriously. I don't even know where it went. Anyways, I haven't taken it, but I don't even know where it went. It was in the fucking beanie that I lost for somehow. So it's gone completely. It's completely gone.
So what did he say?
No, I don't have my Adderall, seriously.
He doesn't have his Adderall. So Adderall, in case you didn't know, and many people don't know this, and this is a very innocent, what I say, probably an innocent thing you don't know, is Adderall is illegal in Japan. It is a scheduled drug. It is a controlled drug. You cannot own or use Adderall in Japan. You're not supposed to bring it in Japan at all. Now, that said, if there's a lot of people that probably bring it in along with other medicines. They've got 6 bottles of medicine they bring in that are part of their daily medicine or whatever else, and they bring it in and they don't know, and they're probably never stopped. It doesn't matter. Someone asked, what if you have a prescription? It doesn't matter whether or not you have a prescription. Let me make this clear. It does not matter if he has a prescription. You cannot get a prescription in Japan for Adderall, period. It does not exist. It's illegal. There's no exemption. Some people are saying there's an exemption. There's not. There's no exemption. There's no permission. There's no ability to bring it in. It's illegal, full stop. Cannot bring it in. It's treated the same as meth because of, Now, there are other drugs that they do use. There's one drug, Concerta. Concerta, I believe it's Concerta. It's a different chemical makeup, but that is legal in Japan, and you can use that for the management of similar symptoms, right? Concerta, right? But not Adderall. Different chemical makeup. Concerta, yeah. Danielle said it right there, yeah, Concerta. Concerta is okay. So there are other alternatives. So if he needed to go get a prescription from a Japanese doctor, he could go to get a prescription for Concerta, and he could get that, right? And yeah, Ritalin is also banned. Yes, correct. So this is something that's a full stop. Now, I'm going to be clear. This is not something that most people know. So if let's say you're a kid who is the son of somebody who works at the embassy, or is a Japanese businessman's son with his American mistress, that he met off of some gold digger website, right? Whatever. And you come over there and you've got your Adderall. Likely, number one, they're probably not going to even bother with it if it's just in a regular human dose. Now, if you're smuggling in a suitcase of it, yeah, sure, that's going to be a big thing. Probably going to get some jail time, right? Now, I'm not advising you to break any laws, but I'm saying that commonly people do bring things in the country not knowing they're banned or prohibited. They just don't know. And typically in those cases of innocent knowledge, it's not straight to jail. But beyond that, there was one case of a woman being caught with Adderall, and she was arrested However, the embassy went over and talked to them and whatever, and they ended up getting out. So she ended up serving 0 jail time for that, right? Involving Adderall. And now it was a more complicated case. There was more going on than that, but they, having been found Adderall and being charged with that, was something that came against that American woman in that case, and they were eventually let go with no charges. So it's very uncommon that you will be thrown in jail for that. So when people say, will Ice Poseidon be thrown in jail? No, he's not going to be thrown in jail, particularly as he doesn't currently have it. Also, it's really weird because the way I freeze frame this, I have Ice Poseidon's like fucking face on my giant screen that's right here. It's really weird. It's really weird. I'm going to remove that because it's creeping me the fuck out. But that said, not going to happen. So is Ice getting in trouble? No, he's not getting in trouble for that. However, it is good to know that before you go. And if Ice here's the problem for Ice. Here's where Ice could have gotten in trouble. If Ice got arrested for something else, they might throw that in there if they found him with Adderall as an extra charge. So let's say he did something, which he hasn't, to be very clear, but let's make something up. Let's say Ice was drunk driving. He was drunk driving down like some mountain road in Japan, and he hits a tree, and he gets arrested for drunk driving. And they find he also has Adderall. They would probably add that on as a charge. That's the most reasonable situation you'd come up with, that, okay, they're going to throw that on there, right? But I don't think he will be in trouble for that necessarily. That's the take on that one. So, despite the fact that I call, I like to be fair and call balls and strikes with these guys and say, hey, look, if they're going to get arrested, they're going to get arrested, but it's unlikely. That doesn't mean it's okay. And that's not me saying you have permission to bring Adderall into Japan. But what I'm saying is, it is something that it happens, right? It does happen, particularly with kids who don't know. They don't know any better. They're teenagers prescribed Adderall. They don't know all the visa rules and all the controlled substances in other countries. They just bring in what they got and go to Japan, and it is what it is. What legal system does South Korea have? Germanic, Romanic, or common law? It's more styled after America. It's pretty much an American system, but they Koreanize it a little bit. It's got different levels. So I would say it's very similar to the American system. Very similar to the American system. Inori Yuriha for 500 Hong Kong. Happy Lunar New Year. Hey, happy Lunar New Year. Hey, to everybody out there who is of the background of any country celebrating Lunar New Year, or Seoul out there in South Korea, happy Seoul for some people in South Korea, or Lunar New Year in Southeast Asia, other places, and in China, obviously. They can say Chinese New Year, right? But happy Lunar New Year to everybody out there. Appreciate that. Much love and prosperity to everybody this year. Hope you had a great time this year. Ramsey's Panda Eye in the FaceTime call really makes me feel like a homeless dude for real. It really had an incel feel more than ever. It's Yuzuriha. Yuzuriha. Got you. Yuzuriha. Got you. Well, thank you so much for that. Appreciate that, 100 Hong Kong. Thank you so much. Tatsumi for 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you. Yes. That brings us just over 69 memberships. We're at 72, but I see what you guys did there. Asian Dragon says they don't care about the law, only cloud system. They're starting to have to care about the law. This is where I disagree. I think the Nuisance streamers are getting annoyed, and they're kind of pissed at me because they blame everything on me. But once again, whether or not I'm covering this is really irrelevant to the fact that they're breaking the law, right? And many people are covering this. Etozi's covering this, Deserto, a lot of other platforms and channels are covering this. What they're doing is clearly breaking the law. And in certain circumstances, not always here. What we showed today was not always illegal, but they sometimes do. And sometimes they know they're breaking the law and they really don't care. And I think the days of that happening are becoming numbered, and I think they see it, and I think they're mad about it because I think they want the days of them openly breaking the law to continue as long as possible. And that just can't happen when your platform is streamed around the world. It only works when you have very few people that know about what you're doing. But once you have millions of people that are paying attention to you and know that you're breaking the law, yeah, they're gonna shut you down. It's just the natural way of things. McKiddles for 0.99. Thank you so much. Inuia Minded. Inuia Minded. Do they still play Golden Goblin with Johnny? Bring that back and invite Bang TV and Daugun to play in Busan. If he comes down and does a meetup in Busan, I think it will be time for some. I think the Golden Goblin days may be back, right? I think that may be revived. Maybe we'll be doing a road trip with Bang TV down to Busan. That'd be kind of fun. Milkman Leroy, 5 Canadian. Too bad the Somali trials are being televised. Would make a good study on the Korean judicial system alone. I know. What I'm going to try to do in a lead up, and I'm talking to some friends of mine, is maybe talk to judges or prosecutors or lawyers in Korea, and get some background from folks who are in the know. And I think that might be helpful. That might be really interesting to learn about the system. Asian Dragon says, I used to do free ride back home, but Ice Poseidon, or you said I've Poseidon, did free ride in Japan for content like Dalgun. I want to injure him. It's the urge sometimes. It's the urge. JB11631 is a new member. Welcome. Asian Dragon says, hopefully Japanese news, K-Town podcast, Korean news, invite you for an interview about Nuisance streamers. Yeah, I would love to talk to anybody who's willing to talk. Obviously, I've been covering this from beginning to end, and I didn't want to become somebody who covers all the Nuisance streamers, but insofar as they're related to Johnny and insofar as they would go and commit actual crimes, I become more interested. So if they want me to not cover them, then they will not commit crimes. Now, not everybody today committing a crime. However, I think it's related to the more broad overall topic of Johnny, and especially of meeting up with Johnny. Les Grillpiece Valenzuela says, I have ADD and used Adderall/Concerta back, became independent from that. Didn't know that some countries ban them. Yes, they do. And it's not just Japan, it's other countries as well. So be careful and check if you ever do use them. I know you say you don't, but if you do use them, check before you travel. Big Buddhist, my Google foo says of 2024, people with ADHD have the option of Concerta, Stratera, or Vivance in Japan. I think Vivance is a new addition, I believe. I'd have to look again, but I know that Concerta's been there for a while. So yeah, that's possible. That's true. Lex Lutho said, will you give analysis on the Mercanti versus Smash? Great insights. Yes, I will. I've already given an analysis there. I will give more. So look forward to that in the days to come. And I do appreciate everybody who came today. Make sure you smash the like button. We had almost 2,000 people here, which is awesome for a random impromptu late night stream. That's everything I can ask for. It's everything I can ask for. Let's see here. Oh, over there on locals. Ralph Amail needs to go to Korea. That would be funny. Ethan Ralph gets beat up in Korea. Let's see. Japanese nerd hat on over in the local says dashi comes from dasu, meaning take out, get out. Oh, interesting. When is Ramsey Khalid Ismail's next trial hearing appearance? March 7th. March 7th is his first hearing for now. If it doesn't get delayed, if it doesn't get pushed, and I am happy if that trial gets delayed. I am happy if it gets delayed. Uncivil law, we got Big Kurt coming in for 2, saying, I only know one Nuisance Korean streamer. Well, at least you know the one, the most famous one. Chaos Smash 64 says, legal mindset in a luchador outfit, drop kicking Johnny Somali would watch. I would do it. You wouldn't even have to pay me. I would do it. Inoya Minded said, bullseye them where it hurts. Hit them where it hurts. Their pockets. Exactly. And the worst thing you can do for these streamers is get them deplatformed, or if their advertisers drop them, or if somebody that is an affiliate deal with them no longer is affiliates with them. That's really what shuts it down overall for these guys. And they're seeing that if they associate with Johnny, they could get hit off. They could get kicked off of Kick. And if they get kicked off of Kick, there's kind of not many platforms for them to go to. Maybe Rumble, but the monetization is not as great on Rumble. So I don't think they want to jump over to Rumble as the alternative to Kick. I think they want to be on Kick. Asian Dragon 456 for $9.99 says, I saw you in Bang TV's interview 5 times. It didn't show what Bang TV felt of his fake apology. Also, I saw live and witnessed one guy versus Johnny Somali, Gino, and Hank 3. Nelson Muntz. There you go. Yeah. I thought I asked that question. You know what? There's a little bit of the footage where my camera on my computer died and I have it on my phone. So I have like a little extra thing from Bang TV on my phone. It's like kind of the uncut version. So I will get to that on I will get to that for sure. And make sure that that is edited and that is translated and that is put out at some point, the extra footage, because that might be on the extra footage that I recorded. But thank you for watching 5 times. Thank you. Sobhi Zainal, new member, welcome. LJ Rourke says, I just got here. Anything left on the docket? I think we just got most everything done, which is kind of awesome. About 1 hour late night stream, nice and intimate. Let's see here. Somebody asked this. Andrew, you mentioned driving while visiting other countries. Do other countries observe other countries' driver's license? Do you have to get a temp one? I recommend when traveling to go to AAA in America or CAA in Kazakhstan and get the international driving permit. It's valid for a year. It's used in almost all civilized countries. Just have the international driving permit and your actual driver's license because you need to have them both. So if you have your American driver's license, international driving permit, you're pretty much good to go. I drive abroad all the time using both of those. So, and when I go back, I usually just get one. So I have one, right? I will probably get some foreign driver's license at some point just because I'm more often here than in America, but that's, you know, I can relax on that. Good question, though. Good question. Okay, guys, appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much for being here. Smash the like button, leave a comment, and I will catch you all on the next one.
Oh.